Today, I'm going to be speaking about creating social engineering scripts. It's really cool. It's a fascinating field that's interrelated with a number of other fields, including conning, hacking, psychology, and so forth. This presentation, it's going to give a general framework for how you create a social engineering script, and it's geared more towards the information gathering stages rather than the exploit stage, but both will be covered. And there's some great examples at the end. First part will be the big picture, the general overview of the whole process. And the second part will focus on how to follow through with an individual contact. Let's go ahead and take a look at the big picture. So there are three main phases within a social engineering attack. This can be adapted more or less, but this is kind of the general overview. First, you need to have a goal. Second, you're going to contact a number of people. And then finally, you're going to send the exploit. To start, you need to look at the goal. Start with the end in mind. What is it that you want to accomplish? Once you identify what your goal is, you need to select a target. Can you gain access to the target, or do you need to do another step in order to gain access to this person? So you can go step by step through these questions. Who do you need to contact? What do you want from them? Make a story that explains what you are doing. Who can you contact? Who and what do you need to know to seem authentic? At this point in the process, you should have a general idea of what you need to do to get to your goal. There may be missing details depending on how much transparency there is internally into the organization you're targeting. This is fine. Once the goal is solid and you have a starting point, you will need to contact multiple people. For each target step, make a story that explains why and what you are looking for. You'll start with public contacts, and oftentimes there'll be internal contacts within an organization that aren't open or revealed to the public. This is going to include information like department names and titles and procedures, and you collect this information as you go along. This information can be used to authenticate yourself, which gives you a level of validity, social validity, as you go through a social engineering attack. One of the great things is throughout this process, as you see in number 4, if there are any flaws or ambiguity in their system, you can use it. A little bit later in the presentation, I'll talk about some flaws that were found in the systems between Apple and Amazon that were used for this sort of attack. The last step is to contact the target and try to get some action performed. By this point, you should be able to authenticate yourself, have a story and reason ready, and an action for them to do. You may have to adapt as needed, such as contacting someone else and then calling back. So let's go into a little bit more detail on the framework for talking to an individual. Here it is, step by step. I got this process from a web page. The link is in the lower right-hand corner if you want to read it for more details. But how it works is you identify yourself. But I got to make a side comment right here. It's like all similarities to any real persons or organizations or events is completely coincidental, okay? So you identify yourself, for example, by saying, "Hi, I'm Namin Awid with the Linux user group." Then you ask for help. "I was wondering if you could help me out. I'm trying to contact the ICC, but I've lost their email." Be ready with some sort of justification. So they'll answer, maybe ask some questions, and you justify yourself. For example, "I want to make sure I'm speaking to the right person. The meeting had multiple people. Do you know who that might have been?" They'll give you a list of people probably and follow up like, "Oh, that's really helpful. Could I have their email?" And then throughout the entire process, ask questions. What are some of the results from this? Contact information, names, email address formats, which means you can infer the email addresses of other people you don't know, internal information, department information, proper titles. Okay, so we're going to move on to some examples. So in this case, the first example has to do with Apple and Amazon. This happened to an individual named Honan. Amazon allowed users to add a credit card number to an account simply by calling Amazon and providing a name, email address, and billing address. The hackers would begin by collecting that information, and then they would add a credit card number to an account. After that, they would hang up. Then they'd call Amazon back to claim they had lost access to the account. At this point, they provided the fake credit card number convincing Amazon to let them add a new email address to the account. The next step was going to the Amazon website and requesting that a password reset email be sent to that email address. From there, the hackers could view the last 4 digits of a person's credit card number on the Amazon website. So, with those 4 digits, hackers would then move on to Apple because you see, Apple, as a form of authentication, accepted those last 4 digits of a credit card that Amazon considered information that didn't need to be secured. And then through that process, they were able to take control of a person's Apple account. Just imagine what you could do with somebody's Amazon account through that process as well. That's an example of a social engineering attack that focuses on the flaws in a potential system. Okay, this is a pretty neat video because it essentially shows you nearly step by step a social engineering attack that happens.
They're going to hack me using social engineering, which is essentially hacking without any code. They just use a phone and an internet connection.
Do you want to do a sample phishing call?
What's phishing?
Phishing is voice solicitation, and basically what you do is you use the phone to extract information or data points that can be used in a later attack.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Who are you going to call?
Maybe I'll call your cell phone provider and
Okay.
see if I can get them to give me your email address.
I bet they're good. I bet they have my back. But yeah, go for it.
I'm going to spoof from your number, so it's going to look like it's calling from you.
Okay.
Hi, I'm so sorry. Can you hear me okay? My baby, I'm sorry. my husband's like, we're about to apply for a loan and we just had a baby and he's like, get this done by today. So I'm so sorry. I can't call you back. I'm trying to log into our account for uses information and I can't remember what email address we used to log the account. The baby's crying and can you help me? Awesome.
In just 30 seconds,
At gmail.com?
Jessica gets access to my personal email address.
Now, if I needed to add our older daughter on our account so she could call in and make changes, how would I need to go about doing that? You would have to send me a secure PIN through a text message? Yeah, well, the thing is, I don't think I'll be able to receive a text message if I'm on the phone. Oh, I'm not on there either? So I thought when we got married, he added me to the account.
Jess uses my girlfriend's name and a fake social security number
5127.
to set up her own personal access to my account.
Wait, I'm sorry. So there's no password on my account right now? Can I set that up?
She even gets the support person to change my password.
Thank you so much for your help today.
So she just basically blocked me out of my own account.
I'll get her fed after this. All right. Thank you.
So, what are some of your thoughts from that?
It looked pretty easy.
It was,
I
wasn't
know.
it?
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that like sleight of hand, like with like magic tricks, to where it's like you get them to like look somewhere else, and then with the distractions and stuff like that.
It's just like that.
Yeah, right.
This example is another social engineering attack. It's a fictional scenario, but it's realistic in looking up info for potential exploits, or in this case, being able to individually access a modem. A little bit dated, but pretty much the same process.
Security, Norm?
Norman speaking. Norman, this is Mr. Eddie Vedder from accounting. I just had a power surge here at home that wiped out a file I was working on.
Listen, I'm in big trouble. You know anything about computers? Gee. Right, well, my BLT drive on my computer just went AWOL, and I got this big project due tomorrow for Mr. Kawasaki, and if I don't get it in, he's gonna ask me to commit harikiri. Yeah, well, you know these Japanese management techniques.
Could you read me the number on the modem? It's a little boxy thing, Norm, with switches on it. Lets my computer talk to the one there.
212 555 4240.
So one of the interesting things about this video here is immediately after getting that information, he pretty much hangs up on the person. And that actually is not uncommon in social engineering exploits. You don't stand the line longer than getting the information for what you need. I don't know if that's the best method or not, but it from what I've looked into, it seems pretty common. Okay, this example shows how essentially they get somebody to activate an exploit, which also is once again pretty simple.
What do you think of when I say the word hacker? Some creepy dude in a basement? One of them. He's what's known as a social engineer, or a people hacker. His craft is to dupe you into doing things and sharing information you probably shouldn't.
Can I just get your credit card number?
Some use it for illegal activity. In David's case, companies pay him to find out if employees are leaving the company vulnerable. He and his team show us how it's done. Step 1. Spoof his number so it looks like he's calling from inside the company, and then call tech support.
Hello, you there? Hello?
Hi, this is Ken. How may I help you?
I was wondering if you can take a look at a website I'm trying to get to. It's for a big customer thing I'm working on for Monday, and I can't seem to get to the website from my computer.
Sure. What's the website? I'll see if I can get to it.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate the help. I mean, it could be a stupid thing. I'm really stuck with computers, but so it's www.survey. That's SURVEY -pro.com.
Yeah, I got a prompt to open. I just clicked open, and I'm at the site now.
Here's what the IT guy doesn't realize. By clicking that link, he's just given David full access to his computer.
Whoa, okay, that's weird. I just hit it and it works. It seems like it's working fine now. Awesome. I don't know what you did, man, but I really appreciate the help.
Hey, no problem. That was easy.
That was it?
We're on this computer right now.
You were able to take over this guy's computer within, I would say, like under 2 minutes.
Under 2 minutes, yeah. Under 2 minutes, took over his entire computer, and think of it as not just his computer, but it's pretty much a downfall of the entire company.
In this case, the company was paying David to hack them and see if their employees would fall for it. They did.
Give me a thumbs up if you can see this. This attack is something that you could actually perform yourself if you really wanted to. It's pretty simple.
Hi, this is Kevin.
Hey, Kevin, this is Caitlin over at IT Support. How are you?
I'm okay. How's it going?
I'm doing great. Hey, I wanted to give you a call because we are changing out our password policy and our new complexity requirements are pretty strict. So, do you have a moment to make sure that your password meets the policy?
Wait, what department are you with again?
I'm with the help desk over in Seattle. I work with Fred.
Oh, okay. Okay. I just wasn't sure. Okay, Caitlin, so you said something about my password?
Yeah, so we want to
What?
make sure that your password meets complexity requirements, and they're pretty strict nowadays.
Because I just changed my password last week.
Yeah, I know your passwords are usually pretty good, but we want to make sure that they're even more strict and complex and meeting those requirements. Do you have about 2
Okay.
minutes to make sure they match?
Sure, no worries. What do you need me to do?
All you have to do is type in Control-Alt-Delete on your keyboard.
Okay. Control-Alt-Delete. Did it?
All right, and you should see Change a Password as one of those options there. Do you see that there?
See it? Yep.
All right.
Click it.
And if you click that, you should see your username pop up, Kevin, right?
Yep, Kevin. Yep.
All right, so you'll put in your current password then.
Okay. Under the old password. Now it's
Yeah.
asking me for the new password.
And I have your new password for you, so let me know when you're ready for it.
I'm ready.
All right, we're going to test this one. So, my password
My password. Yep.
is very long.
Is very long.
1,
Okay.
2, 3,
Okay.
and then 2 exclamation points.
And then enter it twice because it's asking me to confirm.
Yep, you got to enter that
Okay.
twice. So again, it's my password is very long.
Okay. 1,
1,
2,
2,
3.
3, 2 exclamation points.
Okay.
All right, did that work for you?
Yeah, it's saying it's changing my password.
All
Yep.
right.
Now
Confirmed?
what do I do? Yeah.
Okay.
Said it did
Give
it.
me 20 seconds and make sure that I have this on my end. I need to make sure your requirements are being met.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, hold on. No worries.
All right, 1 second. All right, great. Okay, so now what I'm going to have you do is change your password to something that only you know. Okay,
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah. Sir, I certainly don't want anyone to have my password. You're right.
absolutely not.
Go
So
back, Control Alt
go
Delete,
back, Control-Alt-Delete,
change
your password. You got
My
it.
old
So I'm going to end the video there. If you want to watch it, it'll be available in the slides and you can watch the rest. But essentially what she did there is under the pretext of changing the password, had him change the password to something she would know for a brief moment. She was able to authenticate herself onto the network and then have him change his password once again. And generally, once you get an authentication token, it will remain valid even if you change the password for a period of time. And so she has access to the network under his account to do things. So he got pwned and he didn't even know it. There are several other videos that I have in the presentation, and you can take a look at them on your own time if you want. Here's one from, I think it's CBS. It's pretty similar to the first video, very, very similar. There's another video here that shows some demonstrations for social engineering attacks used to extort money out of companies. The acting's not the best, but the process they go through is legitimate. It's an actual attack that's happened to multiple companies. And then the last three videos, they take a bit longer. This one here that shows the gentleman thief, they have an entertaining video that shows a con where they go in person and they use some of those magician tricks to basically pickpocket people. And the presenter does a live demonstration on stage. So it looks unbelievable. It's pretty impressive. So if you want to learn more, there's 3 books I recommend: How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's also a great business book, no deception required, but it's good for the salesman sort of aspect to it. Thinking Fast and Slow, more the theoretical psychological aspect. You'll have to learn how to apply it yourself, but it gives you the principles. And then The Art of Deception, if you want to go in and con people, that one takes similar stuff from the other 2, but shows it in action. So that's the presentation on social engineering. Thank you for listening.